Have you ever practiced mindfulness? Today, I want to focus on how to get more from your mindfulness. Because the way we're using it right now, we're only getting limited results. So let me teach you. Hi, I'm Brett, your favorite shrink, and welcome back. Welcome back to, again, My 5 Minds. This is where we're learning about systemology with a P. It is kind of like yoga psychology. Can I say that? More like yoga than it is psychology. And so I want to talk a little bit about mindfulness, because mindfulness is a yoga practice that a lot of people are becoming really familiar with and becoming really quite popular. But unfortunately, the way we use mindfulness right now isn't that useful. And let me tell you why. So again, let me talk a little bit about a story, because I always like stories. So Karen comes in and she's taking a yoga class. In fact, she's taking a MBSR class, which is something about mindfulness. And anyway, she's taking this class and she is so happy because she's learning these new techniques. She's never spent time really being mindful of herself. Her life is always about serving, taking care of everybody else. Work, family, spouse, whoever. She's go, go, go all the time. But practicing mindfulness has really been great for her because it's helped her begin to be aware of herself in a new way. And she can start to bring love and attention to herself, which is filling her cup, which I'm always about that. You always got to fill your cup. If you want to be able to really love others, you got to make sure you're filling your cup, because you're going to run out. There's no way that people around you are going to love you to get you to that level that you want to love others. It just never plays out that way. So you have to learn to love you. Mindfulness, oh my gosh, it's a great technique. It's a great technique on how to do it. Now, do you understand mindfulness? The way it works is basically you are activating your highest thinking brain. You are activating your highest cortex, which we call it Connie. I call it Connie, your conscious mind. And in being conscious, what I do is I become aware of things. Now, there's 3 different levels of awareness. The first level is where most of us are. It is unaware. Most of us aren't conscious. We're not paying attention. We're not noticing things. We're not really aware of what's going on around us. We're just in our patterns, in our routines. Go, 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 do, do, do. But as we move from that unconscious kind of pattern moving, we go to the next level. The next level is awareness, where I am paying attention to the things around me, paying attention to what's going on around me. I am more engaged in the happenings of life. That is a simple form of awareness. But that is not mindfulness. That's kind of what animals do. Your dog, your cat, your fish, your horse, whoever. Animals are aware. They're aware of their environment. They're aware of what's going on around them. They're aware of their own sensations. Awareness comes through our senses. But consciousness is something special. Consciousness is something that transcends all of that. Consciousness, the way I describe it, is an awareness of things that is not related to sensory input. So let me see if I can explain that real quick. I may be aware of something. For example, I may be aware of this book because I can see it, I can touch it, I can feel it. But there are things out there in the world that I can't see, I can't touch, and I can't feel. For example, time. I have a watch, I can track it that way, but there's a internal sense of time that I don't have sensory inputs for. God. I don't get to see him. I don't get to touch him. I don't get to hear him or her. I know. I know I'm aware of God's presence. How? Through my consciousness. I'm even able to be conscious of myself. What am I thinking? Why am I thinking that? Where'd that thought come from? I can be aware of my own feelings. What am I feeling right now? Feeling angry. Resentment. Where's that coming from? That it steps beyond. It's I'm able to see myself. That is called metacognition. That's what happens when we are mindful. We're able to step out of our sensory input, all the stuff that's going on inside of us, all the stuff that's going on outside of us. We're able to step beyond that and be aware. Awareness that's able to transcend senses. Now, in mindfulness meditation, what I do is just that. I step out of my sensory awareness. First, I'll move from unconscious to conscious by moving into my senses, feeling my hands, feeling my legs, feeling my feet, feeling my breath. And then I'll move a next level up out of my senses and be aware. Be aware of what my arms are feeling like. Heavy, loose, relaxed. Stepping not into the sensations of heavy, loose, relaxed, but stepping out of it and being able to see it from afar. To be an observer of, to not have the direct experience, but to observe the experience. That's what mindfulness is. So a lot of times in mindfulness, people complain about their brains, chatter. That's left neocortex, Leo. But in mindfulness, what we want to practice is just watching Leo. Some people use the metaphor of just watching a freeway. You're just watching all the cars. There may be hundreds of cars racing by. And our job is not to stop the cars or make the cars go away or change that freeway into a river or a beautiful meadow. Our job in mindfulness is just to be aware, to stand back and observe it, to see it. And when I do that, when you do that, what happens? We feel a sense of peace. We feel a sense of calm. We feel good. Now, let's get to the more part. Remember in the beginning I said, I want to give you more in your mindfulness. Because most of us stop there. Most of us use our mindfulness as kind of a medication, as it were. As a way to feel good, as a way to calm ourselves or relax ourselves, as a way to rejuvenate ourselves, as a way to find some peace in ourselves. And that's good. That's all good. But there's more. The more is that consciousness that you're tapping into, that awareness, that observer that's able to stand back and see. That is your true you. And if you want to get out and get more out of your mindfulness, then what I want to challenge you to do is I want to challenge you to see that part of you as you. And all of your sensory input, all of your problems, pains, past, I want you to see that not as you. That's not you. That's the body. That's the body-mind working. But that's not who you are. Who you are is this higher self, this conscious self. And if you can allow yourself to play, to practice, to identify more and more and more with this higher self, this true self, what happens is that you're able to disconnect from the patterns and dramas that our body lives. And these begin to atrophy. These begin to die out. They begin to diminish because you're not feeding them, because you're not indulging them, because you're not identifying with them. And that's the more. That's the more that you can get out of your mindfulness. As you practice being mindful this week, and that's really I want you to do and practice this week. Be mindful. But as you practice being mindful, I want you to hold a consideration. I want you to allow yourself to have a concept, a new concept, that is you. That is your true you. You're not on vacation. You're not taking a break. You're not allowing yourself to rest in this observation. That is you. That is who you really are. And I want you to begin to connect with that higher self. Because what you're going to find is that observer, that pure and perfect part of yourself is unbroken and unbreakable. And that is an amazing message right there. So your homework, practice being mindful, practice observing, and then practice identifying more and more. This is who I am, not that. That's not me. That's my body. Those are my memories. Those are my experiences. But that's not me. This is me. Allow yourself to get more out of your mindfulness. If you like this, like it. If you want more, subscribe. Or you can even check out my website at brettrwilliams.com. Thanks for watching. Again, this is my 5 minds. And I'll talk to you soon.